This next story made me laugh quite a bit. I wanted to share it with you. Roy Moore sues Sacha Baron Cohen and Showtime, seeking more than $95 million in damages for defamation. What a loser. So it's he's actually suing for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and fraud. So for those of you who don't know, what happened in the show is Roy Moore sat down for an interview with what he thought was an Israeli TV host. The character was so over the top, I feel like you would have been able to recognize very quickly that there's a joke happening. And what he did was, Sacha Baron Cohen pretended that he had a machine that detects pedophiles, and he put it over Roy Moore and it started beeping, and he's like, oh, something must be wrong with this machine. And he's like, sir, I'm not a pedophile. And it was awesome. It was an awesome practical joke. It was a good troll, and it was funny. And because it was funny, and because it made news, Mr. Mick Butthurtington over here decided he's going to rain on everybody's parade and sue over it. Now, here's the thing. He signed a release, and he's going to lose. He didn't read the fine print of the release. In the release, it basically says, like, listen, any damage, whether it be with malice intent or not, you're signing away, basically, the ability to sue over that. You're agreeing that we can basically go after you however we want and use this footage however we want. I mean, that was like the gist of the release. So you signed a release, and by the way, it's not like they're, like the joke they played, it was obviously a joke. That's the first point. And the second point is, they were playing off of, like, what was already in the news, because there were countless stories that pointed in that direction of him allegedly, potentially being a pedophile. So, I mean, listen, Roy Moore, you're bad enough in terms of what your record is, even putting aside all that personal stuff and criminal stuff. You're also just an idiot, and you're like he's a really big, like, Christian Sharia law guy, like a big-time theocrat. Wants to fucking shove the Bible down everybody's throat. So your name is already shitty. But now, what's hilarious about this is it has the exact opposite of the intended consequence. So it's just like, you know, the Streisand effect, how I think it was something like Barbra Streisand sued because she didn't want somebody taking a picture of her house, but because she sued, the story got way bigger, and then more people knew where her house was, when the whole point of her suing in the first place was to try to not have people know where her house is. Something to that effect. Something along those lines. So it's the Streisand effect. It had the exact opposite of what you wanted to happen happened. So he's suing because he's like, I need to protect my reputation. Your reputation is already bad, but now on top of just being bad, now you're a fucking bitch, loser, snowflake that can't take a joke. So, you know, you want to talk about hostile to free speech. This is hostile. He's playing a fucking joke. He's playing a joke. And you want and how the fuck did you come up with that number? $95 million. Oh, my feelings. They're worth 92 million? 92.7? 95 million. Yes, 95. Pipe down. Fuckface. Please pipe down. You're a joke, you're a clown. Nobody likes you. Even right-wingers are like, ugh. Like, who? Fucking Roy Moore. Roy Moore? You lost as a Republican in Alabama. A Republican in Alabama? Do you know what you have to do to lose as a Republican in Alabama? They basically would vote for any Republican under any circumstance. But you lost! And you lost to fucking just a soft establishment Democrat who's soft-spoken, who's not dynamic or anything. You lost to basically the human embodiment of oatmeal. You ran against a fucking carton of oatmeal. And you lost as a Republican in Alabama. Your record sucks, and now on top of it, you're a snowflake who doesn't believe in free speech and needs a safe space. Fuck you, Roy Moore. Fuck you with a trillion demon dicks from hell.